Have you ever wondered what you were supposed to do if you were fortunate enough in order to inherit an IRA from somebody who wasn't your spouse? Well, Ed Slott, America's IRA expert, has put together 5 easy steps to help you avoid the 5 biggest mistakes people make when they're inheriting an IRA. Hi, my name's Maiewski, and I'm a managing director with Redwood Tax Specialists. And this is a critical thing that needs to be addressed if you are fortunate enough in order to inherit an IRA. Quick story is my father died and left money to my children. Well, the good news, it was in an IRA. Now, the bad news is if I didn't go through and know exactly how to do this, my kids would have to actually have all that money paid out over a 10-year period. However, since this happened prior to this past year, what we were able to do is we were able to take that money and put it in separate IRAs for each one of them. So they got money, my son got money, my daughter got money, and then I got money from that. And what happens is now we get to spread that out over their lifetime. What does that mean? Well, my son is 26. He's going to have 56 years of distributions that he can take from this amount. Imagine the amount of how much that grows over a long period of time. And all you have to do is basically this year he has to take out 1.7% as an RMD. Actually gets waived this year because of what's happened with the COVID, but his next RMD is 1.7%. So if you make 2%, 4%, 5%, 7%, 10% on your money, that sum continues to grow and you have small amounts being taken out because they're young. As you get older, that amount that you have to take out will grow and will be more. But I want to make sure that you understand the biggest mistakes that people make and how to avoid them. Here we go. The first thing you do if you were to receive an inherited IRA is please don't do anything. Make sure that you understand exactly what you have and talk to an advisor about this. Here's why. Because money that you receive from an inherited IRA cannot be combined with an IRA you currently have. You can't add any more funds to this inherited IRA, and you can't also put this into a Roth inherited IRA. Okay, so it's very, very important. Don't do anything first. Make sure you consult an advisor. Step number 2, as I said in my story, make sure that you transfer the inherited IRA funds into a separate IRA in your name. Yes, it will be an inherited IRA, but the key is to make sure that you do a transfer from trustee to trustee. So if it's with a bank, company, whatever it may be, make sure it's transferred into a self-directed IRA, which you now will have to list as an inherited IRA, but it will be it'll be separate. That's the key, is that it remains separate from your other IRA funds. Step 3, as I told you in my story, it's very important if you have an IRA that has to be split between multiple beneficiaries that each one gets their own account. Okay. If you don't do it this way, it's going to create more issues and more tax problems, and it's not worth it. So this is why you check with an advisor first before you go through and make any steps. So if you're a minor child, you're disabled, or if you're no more than 10 years younger than the owner, okay, you will be able to spread this out over the long period of time. Very, very important. Step 4, take the distributions as required. Every inherited IRA has to have a distribution taken from it each year. So the key is make sure you understand what it is and how it needs to be done. Now let's go back to minor child. These are under 18, or if you're still in school, it can be up to age 26. Chronically disabled, or if you are no more than 10 years younger than the owner, you can spread out these payments over a lifetime, not just within a 10-year period. That's key. Think about that. If you had $100,000 sitting in an IRA and you don't have to take RMDs, it just has to be distributed over that 10-year period. Now, if you're stretching it for 50 years, okay, you will have to take those payments each year in order to meet the requirements. Step 5, heed the deadlines and make sure you are keeping good records of this, okay? Because if you were to receive an inherited IRA, all of it has to be split by December 31st of the year after that was inherited. So if you inherited something in 2020, by December 31st, 2021, that would have to be completely distributed and be broken up in each one of the accounts. And very, very important, make sure you name beneficiaries on that account as well, because this is just one other way that we can continue to kind of move things along. And if you're in that stretch situation, what a great opportunity to be able to continue this as well. Hey, I hope this helped you. I hope this gave you more insight as to just some of the things that you can do to help you put more money in your pocket, but at the same time, make sure that you're doing things right. And hey, remember, at Redwood Tax Specialists, we believe it's not how much money you make, it's important. It's how much money you get to keep.